Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Sir Worldwide. And I'm going to be your minister of information here because I'm going to talk about one legend that most people around the world know this legend. They knew this person, right? Well, there's I call him a hero. And this lifetime right here, there's two heroes, actually, that I could mention. I'm going to mention one right now. Colin Kaepernick. But we're not talking about him today, okay? I was in a foreign country, right? Actually, an African country, right? And there's only one person that they asked me about, right? So one day, I was dating this young lady, right? So I went by her house and she said, "You want to meet the champion?" I said, "Really? Sure." She lived next door to him, right? So I got out of my car, parked my car on the side street, and here comes this big dog up to this fence, and he hanging over the fence. He was a Great Dane, you know? And I found out what his name was when I went in the house to meet the champion. So the dog's name was Cassius. The champion's name at that point was Muhammad Ali. So I'm sitting there, and he's on the sofa, he's sleeping. His wife was showing us pictures of him in Saudi Arabia, asleep on a camel. So that's when I met Muhammad Ali, right? And when I was in this foreign country in Africa, they asked me, "Do you know Muhammad Ali?" They asked me about nobody else, only him. So that was back in the day, right? So now, since we're talking about legends, we're trying to educate a lot of people here about our blackness and who our heroes really are. Muhammad Ali was born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. on January 17th, 1942. It just so happens that my birthday is January 16th. His birthday is January 17th. The great Martin Luther King is January 15th. So those 3 days right there, y'all can hold on. And y'all can send me all the gifts you want for my birthday, January 16th, okay? I do accept gifts. Anyway, this man was American professional boxer, activist, nicknamed the Greatest. He is widely regarded as one of the most significant and celebrated figures of the 20th century and one of the greatest boxers of all times. He was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky, and began training as an amateur boxer at age 12. At 18, he won a gold medal in the light heavyweight division at the 1960 Summer Olympics and turned professional later that year. He converted to Islam, became a Muslim after 1961, and eventually took the name Muhammad Ali. He won the World Heavyweight Championship from Sonny Liston in a major upset at age 22 in 1964. In 1966, Ali refused to be drafted into the military, citing his religious beliefs and opposition to the Vietnam War. He was arrested, found guilty of draft evasion, and stripped of his boxing titles. He appealed the decision to the Supreme Court, which overturned his conviction in 1971. Now, there's 4 years that he wasn't boxing in his prime. So he won his decision, and he continued to fight, right? But he changed his name. He had an association with Elijah Muhammad, Nation of Islam. He later disavowed the Nation of Islam, adhering to Sunni Islam and supporting racial integration like his former mentor, Malcolm X. Ali was a leading heavyweight boxer of the 20th century, and he remains the only 3-time champion of that division. His joint records of beating 21 boxers for the World Heavyweight title and winning 14 unified title bouts stood for 35 years. Ali is the only boxer to be named Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year 6 times. He has been ranked the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time and the greatest athlete of the 20th century by Sports Illustrated, the Sports Personality of the Century by the BBC, and the third greatest athlete of the century by ESPN Sports Century. He was involved in several historic boxing matches and feuds, most notably his fights with Joe Frazier, such as the Thriller in Manila. in his fight with George Foreman in Africa, known as the Rumble in the Jungle. So here's the deal. Go to Wikipedia. They got 51 pages on this great man. I'm not going to read all that. I just want you to be aware of a historian, right? That he had a big mouth. He said, "Ain't I pretty?" He could say that because he could back it up. A little bit more here, and then I'll be through with this, right? This man, he gave so much to charities. I mean, he was a giving person, right? And he got Parkinson's disease, right, later in life, but he still kept giving. He never stopped giving, right? So, look, go and study these people that I bring to you. Muhammad Ali, Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman. We're going to bring more and more. You need to know who these people are because the history books ain't bringing it. So now I'm going to bring these great people on who always get up here and hit grand slam home runs when they come. Here they come right now. So just pay attention because you're going to learn something.
All right, how you doing?
I'm good. Hey, how's
Good.
everybody doing out there today?
Excellent. You know, what made Muhammad Ali great is because he converted to a religion, a way of life that gave him self-esteem. A way of life that told him that the black man is God.
That's right.
A way of life that made him feel good about himself, that built his self-confidence. A way of life that gave him an understanding of his creator, that told him that every time you look in the mirror, you're looking at God.
That's right.
That if you make God anything other than a man, you make him less than yourself. So that is a way of life or an understanding or a religion that makes you feel good about you.
That's right.
And so many people are suffering from low self-esteem.
That's very
Because
true.
if your esteem is low, if you think nothing of yourself, then you really don't have a lot of power.
Right.
Because anybody can come in and tell you a bunch of lies, and you'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I don't think too much of myself anyway. I think that people are nothing, and that we're just some insignificant speck in an entire universe." Like dude said it. What was that movie? Where the magician, the wizard. What's that movie? The Marvel movie.
Shoot,
It'll come
we
to me
all
later.
know it'll come to us.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he said, we're just all some insignificant Doctor
Strange?
Yeah, Doctor Strange. We're just an insignificant speck in a big universe. So, but if you think of yourself like that and you don't see yourself as a God, not that you're the supreme being, but that you have force and power, at least over your own self.
Well, we were created in the image and likeness.
Duh.
So apparently,
People don't believe that though.
Yeah, I know. That's
Like, what the hell?
so. That goes to the mental state of being, and then we can. What
We
you were
think
saying-
too little of ourselves.
Right, and if we think too little of ourselves, then
Yeah.
we've been conditioned from lack of knowledge, which we can call weakness, and so
Yes.
therefore, then you can speak on how the mental health is paramount in order for us to overcome all of these things that are out there, and whatever starts up to make us not think that we are the greatest, like Muhammad Ali.
Exactly.
He says, "I must be the greatest,
Okay.
so I am the greatest."
There it is.
And
And
so-
if you feel that way about yourself, then there's nothing that can stop you.
Right.
You're gonna feel good about everything that you do. Even if you have some type of setback, you're still gonna find the benefit of every adversity.
Yeah, that's right. Like they say, the setback is just the setup for more greatness. And from there, that gives you a higher level of esteem. But the thing of it is, there's certain elements that you have to incorporate into your personality to get that esteem level up. It's not just one day, okay.
Yeah, I'm God.
Right, yeah,
right.
but
it takes a lot.
You have to purge yourself of bad habits.
And
You have
false ideas.
Right. There has to be a constant cleansing, a purification, a detoxification of the mental state of being. And from there, then you understand and you figure out, you have to know how to take care of this, which houses the brain, which houses the consciousness, which helps produce the the desired effects in life.
Right.
So once you understand that and get over the mental illnesses and not follow around other people that are psychotically mentally ill,
Yeah.
and they don't want to admit it.
Right. We're living in a country that was founded on a philosophy that is clearly mental illness. To create a country that says I'm better than you because of the color of my skin and for no other reason is to create a country full of mental disorders.
Right,
From
exactly.
psychoses, neuroses, paranoia, repressions and suppressions. All these things come from the one idea that I'm better than you because of the color of your skin. And from that idea,
well, they
is where we
documented
are.
it so they can refer
Oh, yeah, they
back
put
to
it in writing.
and then they can go back and see, here it is right
and
on
then
the
they
paper.
teach it in their church.
Right, and then they tell you, me, and us, and the rest of the world
That they're God.
right, and we're we're supposed to be the lowly
We're supposed to be
servant.
the slave.
Right, exactly.
A philosophy. I remember my uncle said to me, well, you know, they did us a favor by getting us out of Africa and everything. We were swinging in trees.
No,
It's like,
that
oh my God.
we never
He
got
really
the whole
believed
story.
that.
Yeah, I know, because the information has been suppressed about the great civilizations of Africa to go back to the beginning of time. We won't even say of antiquity, of time before they came here, floating over here in boats to suppress people, because they were suppressing themselves in Europe.
Oh my God.
And then they've gotten
Straight cave people.
the technology on how to build better weaponry to go around and then oppose people to challenge them. And say if you got a bow and arrow and they got a sword, they got you beat. And you got a bow and arrow and what they called a fire stick back in the day, you know. And so they can just walk up to you and bam, just like modern day. That's
well,
where
they finally made it to China and discovered gunpowder.
And they know how to put projectiles in front of the gunpowder, and the gunpowder explodes and it sends it out there. It smacks you in the body and destroys you at a deadly force.
Exactly. But it took them some time to
Right.
become even partially civilized, because the way they're treating us shows their savagery completely. And they've been doing it for a couple of hundreds of years, but we think that we're the same as them. Integration has made us think that we're the same as them. And they already know that we're not.
We're not them. We're far and above what they can even imagine, because they don't have the creative force, they don't have the creative elements, and they haven't been bestowed with the universal element of melanin.
Yeah. And the thing is about us too, we're such a beautiful people. We're so polite. You know, we don't want to talk about that. You know, we don't want to talk about mental illness or anything like that, because, oh, you know, uncle over there, you know, he's got a little problem and stuff. So we want to sweep things like that under the rug instead of actually being blatant about the psychotic nature of racism. Because it is mental illness. If you Google, is racism a mental illness, it's going to be some really cool arguments on there. But we do have to conclude that, yes, it is a mental illness. And if we deal with racism from a mental health perspective, then we would have to be a little bit more polite.
Right.
Unfortunately, we would have to be like, oh, Johnny's ill. He went and he took a gun, and oh my God, what are we going to do with people with severe hundreds of years of mental illness?
Yeah, well,
what are we going to do with people like that?
Well, we have to, for those of us that are conscious, we have to apply the things that we purge, cleanse, detox, and purified in our minds, in our brains,
starting
and in
with
our
self
life.
First.
Starting with self, and then we can start by increment, step by step, to move forward to help those understand themselves better, and from there, then we get the healing.
But we act as if this is so new. Every time they kill one of us, we act as if, oh, we're shocked. But they've been doing it for hundreds of years. I mean, what if lynchings would have been on television?
Well,
you know, what if,
right, exactly.
You know,
they
what if selling us on the auction block, what if that would have been televised?
Right.
You know, I mean, what's more heinous and cruel than to do that? Just shoot us and then we hear about it on the news later. That wasn't televised per se.
Right.
Even though they now have video cameras
but
and stuff.
That's part of the mental illness, the sickness, and the dysfunctional thought of people being racist.
But it's important that we admit, that's the first step. Admit that we're dealing with people who are mentally ill and who have caused us to be mentally ill. Because in our normal surroundings with each other, we basically are cool.
Right.
But because we've integrated with a group of savages and with people who are totally psychotic, we're being affected by them even more now.
Right.
And their psychoses is making us kind of crazy.
Right. So, like I
So
said,
we got to cleanse.
we got to do the cleansing, the mental cleansing, and we'll look forward to telling you more the next time.
Absolutely. Peace and blessings.
Now see there, ladies and gentlemen, I don't lie. These guys, they hit home runs. They don't fool around. They give you information you need to know about. So I'm gonna come back to Muhammad Ali for a second here, and then aloha, right? Anyway, after the listing fight, there was a second listing fight, okay? Ali changed his name from Clay to Cassius X, and then later to Muhammad Ali. Upon converting to Islam and affiliated with the Nation of Islam, Ali then faced a rematch with Sonny Liston, scheduled for May 1965 in Lewiston, Maine. It had been scheduled for Boston the previous November, but was postponed 6 months because Ali had emergency surgery for a hernia situation going on, right? It was a controversial fight. Midway through the first round, Liston was knocked down by a difficult-to-see blow the press dubbed a phantom punch. Referee Jersey Joe Walcott did not begin the count immediately after the knockdown, as Ali refused to return to his neutral corner. Ali's so happy he knocked this dude down, he wouldn't think about going to the corner. Liston rose after he had been down for about 20 seconds, and the fight momentarily continued. However, a few seconds later, Walcott, having been informed by the timekeeper that Liston had been down for a count of 10, he stopped the match and declared Ali the winner by knockout. The entire fight lasted less than 2 minutes. You've seen this picture of Ali standing over Liston, telling him to get up. It's a classic shot. I didn't take it. My friend Howard Bingham took that shot. But I do have pictures on my site that I took of Ali in another fight, right? So I hope you liked the information on Muhammad Ali, a real champion and a real important black man. Aloha.
Mahalo.